Sometimes life does not go exactly as planned. And when you're writing programs in Python, the same thing can happen. There can be errors. Sometimes they're unexpected. And we can handle those errors because those errors will raise exceptions in Python, and we can catch those exceptions. So let me show you what I'm talking about. All right, here's a very small program written in Python called exceptionuncaught.py, which does nothing but print 5 divided by 0, and then after that it prints but life goes on. So let's see what happens when I run that program. So I'm going to run the program by invoking the Python interpreter on exceptionuncaught.py, and what happens is that rather than print 5 divided by 0, which of course it can't do, I get a 0 division error and the program exits and it does not print but life goes on. What if I wanted to print but life goes on? How could I do that? I have another version of this program that will catch the exception that's raised by this division by 0 error that I've introduced into the program. So the program looks pretty much the same in terms of what it actually does, but you can see that the print of 5 divided by 0 is now in this new type of control block, and this is a try except block. Now the way this works is you have to import sys, and then you use try colon, you indent, then you have the code that you want to run and catch exceptions for, and then there's an exception block which catches a certain type of exception. Now this form right here, except exception as E, is going to catch everything of type exception, which is nearly all exceptions that you might want to catch inside Python, except for, I think, hitting Control-C and some other keyboard errors that you probably don't want to catch. If you catch one of these exceptions, you're then going to print it out. So to do that, you're going to, in this case, print exception, colon, and then we print the type of the exception and then the exception itself. And we assume that the exception has a way to print itself. And then after that, we print but life goes on. Now, if we do that, we should see but life goes on because we've caught the exception, and so it won't exit the program. Let's run it. All right. So now the program runs. We still don't find out what 5 divided by 0 is because, of course, that has no value. It's undefined. But in this case, we actually get this print statement, which prints that we have a type exception 0 division error. That's the type of the exception, and then it prints out the exception itself, which is interdivision or modulo by 0. And after that, we get but life goes on. So we've caught the exception raised by the program, and we've continued. Now this is going to be important later on, because you're going to want to also do this inside your programs that talk to the database. Because exceptions can occur when trying to write data to the database, and you want to know about them and handle them in a systematic way. You may want to retry the insert to the database or an update to the database, or you may want to raise the error all the way to the user. It's up to you, but you certainly want to know when an error occurs when you're trying to read or write data to the database. So this is how exceptions work within Python, and you'll be using this throughout the course.